This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Rule. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, the economic landscape of Grand Bahama is said to be poised for a revolution. And a key principle of the Grand Bahama Port Authority says they, along with the government and other stakeholders, are positioning themselves for a new era of economic growth and development in the nation's second city. John Davis Roll reports.
She may be small in stature, but she has some big shoes to fill. Shoes left behind by her father, former Grand Bahama Port Authority executive, the late Edward St. George. In an exclusive interview with ZNS News, Vice Chairman of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, Sarah St. George, sat down and spoke candidly about a myriad of issues. She disclosed how the port, as the local governing agency for Freeport, is in a state of transition.
This is a period of transition because there's a lot to discuss in terms of the next decade, 20, 30 years. I mean, there's a medium-term view and a long-term view, and I think there's a lot of work to be done on that. And you've heard, really, the canvas we have here is very diverse. So we've got, we're lucky to have the industrial hub that we have. We're lucky to have the commercial hub that we have, and we have tourism as well. And across the spectrum, there should be jobs available for all different skill sets. And as the Prime Minister said yesterday, we have athletes, we have tremendous pool of talent here. So these discussions have to really explore the mix, the planning, the administration, the execution, and of course the capitalization. And I think that's the mix that everybody is sitting around the table trying to figure out, and will succeed.
The Port Authority executive, who welcomed the recent announcement made by the Prime Minister regarding the 6 months extension to the Hawksbill Creek Agreement, announced that the nation's second city is indeed on the precipice of an economic revival.
I think you'll see the Port Authority constantly adapting to the needs of the moment. So, where we need new equity capital, where we need new joint venture expertise, where we need more local involvement, where we need all of that is in the mix, and very open and frank discussions. Everybody expressing their views and sharing, and then working out really what to do next. So yes, I think you can expect to see some very positive changes.
John Davis Roll, ZNS Network News.
A hotel property in the West is currently enjoying an upswing in business. The resort property and marina is reporting good bookings, not just for the upcoming holiday, but throughout the summer months. Old Bahama Bay Resort and Marina could be considered a haven for boaters. The facility is a full-service marina destination with 72 slips and offers quick and efficient on-site Bahamian customs and immigration service. During the summer season, Dockmaster Kyle Wilshcombe says this marina can easily see full occupancy.
I don't know if it was the prices down on the fuel or what it was, but we had a lot of repeat customers. And through the middle of the week, weekends, everything was just booked out, and just we had to turn away boats at one point in Norway. It was so busy.
Wilshcombe says as the dockmaster, he is also busy ensuring that the operations are running smoothly. He adds that there are many reasons why they continue to see new and repeat visitors.
One, because from Palm Beach, it's only about 60 miles from here, and you get customs, immigration, you get everything here, fuel, everything. So everybody just stops here, and you have some of the most nice set of people, just the people. They come back because of us.
With the busy holiday coming up, Wilshcombe says that many of our neighbors to the north will travel on their property to enjoy their amenities and take in the sand, sea, and sun.
Every holiday, when you make reservations, you got to call at least 3 months in advance. Every holiday is booked up every year. We actually be turning away boats a month in advance of the holiday.
He says his hope is that the Old Bahama Bay Marina continue to excel in the years ahead.
Big things in the year to come. Every year it's getting bigger and bigger. More people coming, more people want to stay.
Well, an historic day for an industrial giant on Grand Bahama as it forges a major partnership with the College of the Bahamas. Here's John Davis-Roll with this report.
It's a wonderful thing when you have the government, the College of the Bahamas, the board of directors, and the executives of the shipyard all on the same path.
It is an innovative path being developed by the movers and shakers from the government and the private sector. Together, they are charting a new course to take Grand Bahama's maritime industry to the next level. The Minister of Education, Science and Technology, the Honorable Jerome Fitzgerald, applauding the efforts of a leader in Grand Bahama's industrial sector and the country's premier tertiary institution, the College of the Bahamas.
As a premier institution in the country, the College of the Bahamas has the obligation to the citizens to provide opportunities for growth and development. And so I therefore fully endorse this new partnership between the Grand Bahama Shipyard and the College of the Bahamas, which will afford the participants of the Shipyard's apprenticeship program the opportunity to receive an associate's degree in electrical and mechanical engineering technology.
CEO of Grand Bahama Shipyard, Reuben Bird, says this public-private sector partnership is indicative of the educational wave of the future.
Exciting time and very historic event here for the shipyard. We have been working on this apprenticeship program for many years, and it's been a continually evolving process. And this is the next step in the evolution of the process. And by doing this, at the end of the day, the young men and women involved in this will have a degree, an associate's degree, which they can go on to a bachelor's degree if they choose. And they will be able, at the end of the program, we hope that they will stay here in the Bahamas and work with us. However, they'll have the opportunity and ability at that point in their life, if they want to go anywhere in the world and work, they will have the skills, the knowledge, and the work experience to be able to do that.
President of the College of the Bahamas, Dr. Rodney Smith, says their mission is to raise standards, and collectively, their goal is to ensure this historic program's success.
It's modeled really after other kinds of programs. For instance, there's the Newport News shipbuilding program, which is one of the oldest shipbuilding industries in the world. We looked at their program as well, and when we were discussing it with Mr. Barrett and his staff, we talked about that program. It's an academic program. It's in partnership with the university. And we said, well, we have a model that we can work from. And within a few weeks, we were able to actually put it together for them and make sure that it's going to be a tremendous success.
Officials say that apprentices at the Grand Bahama Shipyard will not only become more marketable as a result of this partnership between the College of the Bahamas and the government, but definitely it will also help solidify Grand Bahama as the industrial capital of the Bahamas. Reporting for ZNS Network News, I'm Joan Davis-Roll.
Thanks, Joan. Well, a mother of four arraigned before the court today for the murder of her husband. Sharon Straub of number 150 Faith Avenue was arraigned before Magistrate Charlton H. Smith for the July 28th fatal stabbing of 47-year-old Dwayne Stirrup at their home in the Heritage Subdivision. Now, the 42-year-old educator was not allowed to enter a plea, and the matter was adjourned to September 29th at 10 a.m. and will proceed by a voluntary bill of indictment. In the meantime, Stirrup was remanded to Sandlands Rehabilitation Center until the trial. Police say they were called to the home during the early hours of the morning and Tuesday passed and found the 47-year-old victim with multiple stab wounds to the body. Reports also say the couple's children were in the house at the time of that fatal stabbing. And police in Abaco are searching for 19-year-old John Pedro Aristil of the Mud Poppy Way Marsh Harbor, Abaco. He is wanted for housebreaking and stealing. He is described as standing at 5 feet 7 inches tall, weighing 160 pounds, dark complexion, and slim build. Police say Aristil should be approached with caution. Now, if you have any information regarding his whereabouts, you should call 367-3437, 364-2560, or the Central Detective Unit in Grand Bahama at telephone numbers 350-310-7-12 or 919-911, or call your nearest police station. Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, continues right after this.
News that matters to you. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Tourism hosting a religious tourism conference this holiday weekend on Grand Bahama. It's called the Call to Greatness International Women's Summit, and it is taking place at the Pelican Bay Hotel. This is not the first time the conference has been held on Grand Bahama. The coordinator is Angela Pikes Borough of New Jersey.
When we landed on this island, there was something special. Economically, things seemed depressed, but in the spirit, God said, this is the place that I'm going to do great and mighty things through. He said, this is going to be called the new city. And so I'm excited about what God is doing here in Freeport. You know what? God owns Freeport. Amen. You know what? God owns Freeport.
The purpose of the summit is for women to be able to understand their inner beauty, not just beauty, but their inner strength. She has been given a mandate from God to bring this summit to Grand Bahama Island.
Angela Burrows is one of the presenters for the conference, and she's looking forward to taking part in the summit.
Destiny, that's been called, destiny has been assigned to all of us, and so we as women want to walk into our destiny, understanding that failure to do so hinders another woman from walking into hers, and so that is what I am hoping for this weekend.
Well, after many months of planning, the Bishop Michael Eldon Alumni Association has launched the school's 50th anniversary celebration. The activities kicked off yesterday with the Golden Jubilee Motorcade, and warriors came out to roam the streets of Grand Bahama. President of the Alumni Association, David Wallace, says this is a milestone for graduates from the school, and many past students and teachers from around the world have returned to take part in this joyous event.
We are going to drive through the town to make sure everyone knows that the Warriors have taken over the weekend. The Prime Minister has declared this week as Warriors Week, and we are going to demonstrate that warrior style. It's time to celebrate. It's time to give God praise and thanks for His many blessings towards us. It's time to let the public know that we are here, and we've produced some wonderful leaders who are touching the world. Teachers who have produced some wonderful students who are making a difference in this country.
Now, former students and teachers reminisced on the good old days. They say returning to the campus brought back many wonderful memories.
It's wonderful to be back. It's 50 years of anything. It's half a century, and it's amazing. It's wonderful to be here, to be back. Just to see my students.
It's a school that I loved being a part of. I'm very proud to be a warrior and a graduate of Freeport High. So it's a proud moment, and it's an exciting time to be back.
Well, other events include an unveiling ceremony. This evening, a cultural show will be held at the Freeport Harbor, and on Sunday, a service of Thanksgiving will be held at the Church of the Ascension. And a cultural center is in the making, and it sits on the campus of the old Hawksville High School. The Total Education Center, through this Bahamian village, is hoping to economically empower Bahamians, in particular residents in the nearby communities. President of TEC, Fred Delancey, says their goal is to make this initiative a hub for Bahamian culture at its best.
He basically wants to expose residents and tourists alike to various aspects of Bahamian culture, basically. And we want this to be a continuous thing on Friday and Saturday, where residents basically can come out and experience Bahamian culture, and it's finest in music, dance, food, entertainment, basically. We have invited persons from Ministry of Tourism, the hotel industry, along with the taxi cab and Forbes Charter and another charter company. They're coming here basically. We can put on a show for them to show them exactly what we want to do, to try to convince them to bring tourists to this area.
Now, Delancey says the institution has partnered along with other agencies to make this project a viable one within our tourism sector.
Even our young people now. Right now we have about 120 people in our summer camp program, and talking about Bahamian culture. They know very little about Bahamian culture, so we can expose our children, our parents and residents to Bahamian culture, but more importantly, we hope to make some money from the tourist industry. And residents in Hawksville and Lewis Yard, Pinders Point, Sunrise and Wellington, they can come here and participate in this exercise when we get started officially, and they can sell their wares. And so arts and craft, Junkanoo, you name it, right here at the center.
The Hands Across Grand Bahama Association is reaching out to the public once again. The association is planning its 10th annual prayer walk. Pastor Eddie Victor says this is the 10th year for the event, and its purpose is to offer prayers for Grand Bahama.
Grand Bahama has been so adversely affected. The economy, the livelihoods of people, but spiritually, there needs to be a revival. There needs to be a renewal. There needs to be a transformation on the island. And the key to any transformation and significant change in this island is prayer.
Now, Victor, an organizer of the event, Elmore Smith, says Grand Bahama is in need of more intense prayers at this time.
We pray God can come in and move sovereignly and bring the change and transformation that is needed in Grand Bahama and the whole Bahamas.
I'm calling the intercessors and the prayer warriors and the gatekeepers to really come back and let's get on our knees and pray for this economy to turn back to God.
And the annual prayer walk is planned for this Saturday. And now it's time to ask the doctor.
This is Ask the Doctor. I'm Dr. Monique Pratt. I recently discussed the effects that diabetes have on the kidneys by causing proteinuria, which in large amounts can cause a decline in kidney function over time, called chronic kidney disease. Diabetes injures the small blood vessels in the body. If the blood vessels in the kidneys are damaged, they are unable to remove waste and excess water from the body. This can result in fluid retention, protein spilling in the urine, and the buildup of waste products in the blood. There are 5 stages of chronic kidney disease. To make it easier to understand, I like to refer to the amount of function in terms of percentage. So for instance, in stage 1, which is the mildest form of kidney disease, the kidneys are functioning at approximately 80 to 90%. In stage 4, however, which is a more advanced stage of kidney disease, they are functioning at about 20%. At this stage, kidney replacement therapy in the form of dialysis or transplantation is discussed with the patient. End-stage kidney disease or kidney failure occurs when the kidneys are functioning around 10% or less, and the patient at that time must be treated with dialysis or get a kidney transplant. So to answer your question, Eric, diabetes can cause kidney damage over time, usually years, and can eventually cause kidney failure in some persons. In the Bahamas, like most other countries, diabetes is the leading cause of kidney failure and is the most common diagnosis for those persons on dialysis. Because of this, prevention strategies such as early detection, close monitoring, and tight control of blood sugar levels in diabetics are emphasized to help decrease the incidence of kidney failure from diabetes. I'm Dr. Monique Pratt, and this has been Ask the Doctor.
And of course, get ready for the Seagrape Homecoming tonight. It's KB tomorrow at Junkanoo Rush Out. Then on Sunday morning, 3 churches, 1 service, and Sunday evening, a gospel concert featuring Simeon Outen. Stay with us. We're going to live one as a check on sports when we return.
Everybody, and welcome to Sports and Mercado Live One tonight. This one goes out to Joe Sweeting. He's down there in New Providence. He's also thanking God for another year. And also Clevanche Light One, a young lady who was special today, and also she too looking to keep adding them up. My gosh, is she in a roll? Okay, Shooter Select basketball team is a crowd favorite of the YMCA Commercial Basketball League. Well, you know, they've got some youth on their side, and Kimberly Mullings had a chance to talk to the coach about why his team is performing so well.
Just because players of Shooter Select are young doesn't mean they're intimidated by other teams in the league. Head coach Terrence Roberts says there's been a lot of competition this summer.
We have a good group of guys out there. A lot of guys came from college and some of the guys from the local night league. So it's a lot of competition out there. So I mean, you come out and you be surprised by some of the talent and sometimes which way the game goes.
The team is always working on their chemistry, and Coach Roberts is pleased to be involved in the league.
These young guys, a lot of them haven't played together before. And it just came from college, and Ozzy said, just put a team together and play, and they called me and asked me to coach. So I mean, it's a good feeling to be a part of this.
Roberts added that this summer the Shooter Select is a team to be on the lookout for, and they're sure to have a few good games.
We have a few more guys who are playing, and there's one more guy who's on our roster who hasn't come out yet, and we're gonna have you see a lot of highlights when you come in. We got a lot of high jumpers, And I mean, we have the most athletic team out there, so you can look forward to some good games.
Kimberly Mullings, ZNS Total Sports.
Bahama Commercial Basketball League scores a pass on to the Parliament's Pistons defeated the Stadall Sharks 57-54. Miko Green 24 points to boot and Jay Felipe at 23 in the losing cause. The Container Port Stackers, they got by the Shooters Select team 55-47. Robert Joseph an 18-point game and Leon Cooper Jr. with some 16 points. Not bad at all. Now, the Grand Bahama Tennis Association is on court this weekend, folks. They got a doubles tournament planned for you. It's set for August 1st through the 3rd. The tournament director, Danny Rigby, says he's very excited about the opportunity to actually revive tennis on Grand Bahama.
Grand Bahama Tennis Association is new right now, and we trying to get tennis back on its feet. You know, tennis has been lacking for a little while. So now this is a way of starting, to get everyone back on board. I would like for all the locals, to show up and get involved in this tournament, so we could bring tennis back to Grand Bahama, because we haven't had any tournament, for a little while. So, this is a door opening right now.
Well, GBTA President Tishka Barrett says that the main thrust is development for the junior players, and she added that the advancement of tennis is essential and will do everything in her part to make sure they get more tournaments for Grand Bahama.
In creating an awareness of tennis on the island, we have to begin with activities. And so it is essential that we put on tournaments and clinics to get persons interested, to let persons know that the GBTA is busy and we're working to bring back the awareness and to revitalize tennis on Grand Bahama, which is one of our mandates.
Now, the tournament, you can go up to the Grand Bahama Sailing and Tennis Club. That's starting tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. It'll run through Monday. It's a doubles event. Should be an awful lot of fun. Well, the Express Food Mart Slow Pitch Softball Tournament was played at the Plex. The weather did throw them somewhat of a looper, but that's the way softball is played. The Express Food Mart International Slow Pitch Softball Tournament was huge. The Grand Bahama Sports Complex softball field was the venue for the tournament. The fan support was great from start to finish at the Plex. It was just another example of sports tourism. Manuel Ferrero was elated with the response to the tournament. On the field of play was an experience that they will always remember.
This is our first annual here in Bahamas with our good friend Peter Taylor and Express Food Mart. But we plan to do this every year, so this is first of many.
Peter Taylor Jr. of Express Food Mart coordinated the tournament and is committed to Grand Bahama and much exposure.
We want to bring at least more events to the island and try to get it going as well as possible.
Now, will the ISPS tournament become a fixture for softball here on Grand Bahama? Manuel and Amanda says yes.
Thank you to all the people of the Bahamas, in particular Freeport, Bahamas. You guys have been phenomenal, very hospitable people, very, very warm, very friendly people. I love everybody that I've met here on the trip. I just wish we could stay a little bit longer, that's all, man.
I just want to say that everybody here is so, like he said, hospitable, and everybody's so friendly. It's just a nice little atmosphere to be able to come to and relax and just enjoy yourself. It's wonderful, honestly. Thank you.
Great job, Peter Jr. What the Duck and Tampa Bay, they're all saying are going to be back next year. And don't forget also that the Grand Bahama Flag Football League tournament will start tomorrow. They got 4 teams out of Nassau, and that women and men division is going to run through Monday. We have highlights for you on Monday exactly how that went. To the folks down in West End, thank you. You guys did as well all week long. So long, everybody.